Okay, Miss Bugs here with my first episode of my weekly predictions from the Barclays Premier League only, because I'll be here all day doing everything else. And it's the weekend of the 1st of December to the 3rd, I believe. Yeah, we have Monday Night Football this week, and so I've predicted my results for each game, and obviously, you know, I'm not going to be right for half of these things. I never am, so if anyone thinks I'm some sort of miracle predicting things and stuff, it's not gonna happen, so don't put money on it, okay? If it does happen, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. So, the first game that is going to kick off this weekend is West Ham versus Chelsea. I think it's a lunchtime kickoff, 12:45. I'm not sure if it's on Sky. I imagine it could be. I didn't look into that sort of stuff, so West Ham, I can't remember. I think they lost to Manchester United midweek, and they lost at the weekend also, so I've gone for a 2-0 victory for Chelsea. I know Chelsea have drawn their last two games 0-0 and can't score goals, but I imagine that they might just be able to squeak 2 goals against West Ham. You know, West Ham are a good team when they're on top of their game, so, but I just think it's about time Chelsea started scoring. Maybe the players have started to realise that there's not much they can do about Benitez being manager, so you gotta score goals or get out, really. No, you can't really do it this time of the season, but if they're just going to be playing crap because they don't like the manager, that's stupid. So 2-0 Chelsea. Then we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and I'm going to count 6. I think there's 6 matches at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to do these in alphabetical order, not so people don't go, oh, it's preference. Nah, just alphabetical order makes it easier for me. So we got Arsenal Swansea. Arsenal not being at their best lately either, so they haven't really got a goal scorer, and Theo Walcott, I believe, is injured and he may not be featuring this game, so I've gone for a 3-1 victory for Swansea, just because Swansea are the in-form team at the 2. And, you know, they're due against Liverpool, and I believe they beat West Brom midweek pretty convincingly, and West Brom obviously were 3rd at the time, so that was a good result for them, and I think they'll kick on from that and beat Arsenal. But you never know. You never know with Arsenal. Next game, Fulham versus Tottenham. This is the game that I'm playing right now. Well, it's the game I recorded earlier and playing as the background video. This is the game that I think may be the game of the weekend. It wasn't easy to pick a game of the weekend this weekend, as there's not like a massive game out of any of these, so I think it was between this and Manchester City versus Everton. I've gone for a bit of a goal fest right here, and I think 3-2 for Fulham. Or it could be 3-2 to Tottenham, but I've just gone 3-2 for Fulham, as both teams can score quite a few goals, but I think at the end of the day they can concede a few too. I know Tottenham won at the weekend, but I'm not sure about midweek. I think they did beat Liverpool, didn't they? So I could have just gone for an absolute rubbish scoreline right there. But we'll see. You never know, do you? Fulham are out of form. This is why I don't predict scorelines and then put money on them, as I just realised that Fulham are out of form, but you never know. It doesn't mean anything, does it? It's how they play on the day. So next we have Liverpool and Southampton. I think this is a pretty obvious victory for Liverpool, or at least it should be. But Southampton are on a bit of a unbeaten run at the minute, and they beat Newcastle at the weekend and drew against Norwich in midweek, so they may be full of confidence. But I've still gone for a 3-1 victory to Liverpool. I just think Liverpool have got too much power up front to not win this, and Southampton are known for conceding a few goals, but I think they've done a decent job actually in defence lately, so it could be another one of these shocks. I would love Southampton to win it. I think. So after the start they had, they played really well. So, but I'm gonna go for Liverpool on this one. Again, another match that I think, well, it should be a good match, but if it will or not is an entirely different question. And that's Man City and Everton. And I've just gone for a 2-1 victory for Man City here because, well, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't think Everton have been playing as best as they have been lately. But if they're good on the day, then I think they could come away with 3 points quite easily. Because Man City have not, they haven't been in great form lately either. They've been picking up points, but they've not exactly been convincing as they should be with the amount of players they've got, or the amount of big players they've got, I should say. Wow, I'm losing my voice. And the next game is the game that I wasn't entirely sure about, which is QPR and Aston Villa. And neither team has been particularly great the whole season. QPR haven't scored a lot of goals, but they've conceded a lot. And Aston Villa are pretty much the same, really, aren't they? So I've just gone for a 1-1 draw. Not really sure where the goals are going to come from, but there's always a chance when your defence isn't strong. And that just makes me sad, the fact that we couldn't beat QPR in midweek, but we can't beat anyone at the minute, so so 1-1. And then we move to the last 3 o'clock kickoff game of Saturday, which is West Brom versus Stoke. And this was a tough one too, because Stoke are in good form at the minute. I think they are unbeaten in a couple of games. I say a couple, I'm not actually sure. Did they not even play that weekend? I'm looking at the recent results list just so I can be sure of some results. So Stoke are probably the form team out of the two at the minute, because West Brom are, they're not playing badly, but they've had a bit of a struggle. I don't count the victory over Sunderland as much, quite simply because we were playing not great. But okay, just saying that West Brom lost in midweek, which is, in terms of commentators, they normally say that's out of form. If it is entirely, I don't know. But I did go for a 2-0 victory for West Brom. I just think they've got too much attacking power for Stoke to deal with. But Stoke are a very powerful team. By that I mean, they've got some strong players. They like to tackle. They're not scared to stick the boot in. But then the same could be said for West Brom, as I haven't seen many West Brom games this season, but obviously there was the Sunderland game on Sky against West Brom. And I did think their team was pretty, they like barging people off the ball, which was a bit annoying. So 2-0, I think that's fair enough. Then move on to the last game of Saturday, which is Reading versus Manchester United, and I think if Manchester United don't win this match, I haven't got a clue how they've not managed to do that. No offence to Reading, but they're having a bit of a shocker at the bottom. And they've threw out some good convincing games, but their last few matches have been against lower teams. Aston Villa and was it QPR? No, Wigan, that was the one. So I did go for a 4-1 victory for Manchester United. I just can't see how it's, Man United have scored quite a few goals lately, apart from the last midweek match against West Ham. So 4-1, maybe even 4-0, but I've gone for 4-1, so I can't change that now. Then we have Sunday's match, Norwich versus Sunderland. This is the match for me, being a Sunderland fan. And I've probably been a bit optimistic with this and gone for a 2-2 draw. and that probably won't happen, so that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to jinx it. And the last match is a Monday night match, Newcastle versus Wigan. Both teams not in great form, but I've gone for a 2-0 victory for Newcastle just because I think they have the goal scoring power with Cisse Bar. I'm not really sure what players they don't have at the minute. Not that interested in Newcastle, to be honest. I like them losing, but don't pay attention to anything else. So that's my predictions. I'll do again on Tuesday with my comparisons between the actual results and my predictions.